Over the past couple of days, there's been a ton of news about gaming release dates. Problem being that those release dates are still quite some way off.
In its Q1 2018 earnings report, publisher THQ Nordic confirmed the upcoming post-apocalyptic shooter Metro Exodus has been delayed to 2019. Metro Exodus was announced last year at Microsoft's E3 press conference, and it was originally meant to launch in 2018 for the PC, PS4 and Xbox One. THQ Nordic also mentioned two other upcoming games in their earnings report, Darksiders 3 and Biomutant. Both games were announced last year without any sort of release date really, and it looks like that's going to carry on being the case. The publisher said the two games are still under evaluation for getting a release date, and they want to give developers the time they need to deliver, quotes, the expected customer experience. Now, it's also worth mentioning that THQ Nordic recently said they would be skipping E3 this year because they would prefer to stay home and watch the World Cup. In a statement, the company said, quote, it is with great regret that we at THQ Nordic must report that we will be unable to miss a single moment of this great sporting event. Therefore, we will be forced to stay in our lovely Viennese beer gardens, blowing the froth off a couple, watching football, and one or two cool press conferences on Twitch. Now, that may not be the real reason, but the fact that they did give that as a reason in some kind of statement or press release, that's probably one of the best things any games publisher has ever done. And I don't even like football.
It's awesome, isn't it? Going to E3 must raise a lot of work and challenges for developers, right? You've got to like commit to showing your game off and getting your game in the playable state, or just the trailers or whatever you're going to show off at E3. Talk, a lot of talking and all that. A lot of hard work, right? Why do that when you could be sat in a beer garden in the sun watching football? I couldn't think of a better reason.
That's clearly a question they asked themselves, and they said, yeah. Why do it? That aside, though, it's not great news exactly to hear that these games are delayed or still a way off. No release date in a couple of cases, which is pretty annoying. I'm looking forward to Metro Exodus. I was a big fan of the original two Metro games. This one looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to see what that's about. But I'm going to have to wait a bit longer now. And, you know, the flip side is always, well, I'd rather wait and it be a high-quality finished product. Yeah. And that's kind of what they're saying there, isn't it? They want the satisfactory customer experience or whatever. It's got to be a good game. So I don't mind waiting for that reason.
Exactly. We'd always take a finished product. And so with these days, you see it so often these days that if games get released when they're not ready, they're still buggy and there's still glitches and shit in the game, that shit lasts forever. The reviews get done on day one. They need to make it sure that they're ready, so they're just going to kick back a little bit, take the bit of extra time that they need, watch the football, drink a few beers, and make sure shit's right. In other release date news, a representative from Gearbox Software reportedly announced to a room of journalists that Borderlands 3 would not be present at E3 2018 whatsoever. However, the representative did confirm Gearbox will have other titles to show off at the conference, just not anything Borderlands related. Borderlands 3 has reportedly been in development since January 2015, but information about the game has been sparse. It's also worth mentioning that in a recent interview, Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford said they wouldn't be announcing any more games until they were basically ready to ship. Maybe that's because he felt the backlash from all the shit they were talking about, aliens colonial marines, right?
Yeah.
He felt the brunt of that after like the graphical downgrades and all that shit. So maybe once burned, twice shy is the lesson here for Andy.
Yeah, it's kind of what Peter Molyneux says, for example, as well, where I don't know if he's really stuck to it, but he said, I'm not going to talk to the press anymore because that's what I always get criticised, because I always overhype, and they're clearly excited about their own game. And in Aliens' case, it was the marketing that really, if you really think about it, if you hadn't had all that marketing, obviously it would have been a disappointing game, but the levels of disappointment and the levels of kind of controversy around it wouldn't have been the same were it not for that marketing. So yeah, I guess there is really something to that. And finally, a sequel to the cult classic PC first-person shooter RPG Stalker has been announced for release in 2021. Developed by GSC Game World, Stalker 2 was announced with no real grand spectacle or CGI trailers, just a website with a logo and release date. Steam Spy founder Sergey Galyonkin, who also works for Epic Games, confirmed in a tweet that GSC Game World has licensed the Unreal Engine 4 for development. And that is literally all we know about the game so far. Weirdly though, this is actually the second time Stalker 2 has been announced. The first attempt at a sequel was made in 2010, but development was abruptly cancelled, and in 2011, GSC Game World was shut down. But the company sprang back to life in 2014, and in 2016 they released the RTS Cossacks 3. So 2021, that's still a long way off, but I guess this is a surprise announcement. Guess, this is kind of flies in the face of what the popular thing is to do, or the popular thing to say is now, is to, like Bethesda does, and just kind of announce a game, then release it in a few months' time. This is complete opposite. This is years down the line, and the game must still be in early stages. They've got nothing to show, nothing to talk about at this stage. They're just saying that it exists. I think that's fine for the crowd that it's aiming for, you know, hardcore like PC gamers and stuff. I think they're fine with this kind of thing, and they'll just be anticipating now, and it'll probably increase sales of the original Stalker games and stuff like that, and just kind of build this conversation about Stalker again, which is cool for PC gamers.
Let's hope they don't run into trouble like they did last time, and actually they're able to produce the game this time, because obviously people are going to be disappointed if you announce a game. I mean, 3 years is a bit risky, right? Announcing a game 3 years, anything can happen in game development. You know, we've covered it numerous times in the past where you go into development hell, the budgets go overboard, your scope creeps or whatever, and then eventually, you know, you end up letting people down. You might have to shut the project down. Announcing 3 years in the future, it's a bit dubious for me. I'd rather they have something to show off and be a lot closer to release, because you can never guarantee that that's actually going to happen. But good luck to them. Let's hope they produce the game that we're all expecting and waiting for. So, beer, World Cup, E3 2018. Which of these three are you going to choose? Let us know down in the comments below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out some more of our content on your screen there. Support us on Patreon with that link right there. We'll see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.